Good morning and welcome to Monday's Piece for Peace. As you can see, I am inside today because out there the weather is really nasty, and yesterday it was really nasty, and so today I am left with the dining room table. This is what I've got, and so we'll just make the best of it. That's a segue into what we're going to talk about today, which is finding resilience in the middle of all the stuff that we're living out there. Because I think that that's what's on everybody's mind right now. What I'm sensing that people are feeling is not the same stress levels that we had even a month ago or 6 months ago. 6 months ago, it was about coping mechanisms. A month ago, it was that everybody was fighting feelings of getting tired and what one of my friends calls gapping, dropping emails that you're not answering, forgetting, what you did 5 minutes ago, that kind of stuff. And now, if I'm going to be honest, what I am sensing that people are feeling, what I am feeling is this not low level, but rising fear that is manifesting, that's showing itself in all kinds of stress. People are scared. The news is not great. We have really realized that a new one-day President Joe Biden is not going to solve everything. COVID cases are rising fast, and that's scaring us. And so now, today is the day we're going to talk about finding resilience in the middle of all of this. So, what is resilience and where does it come from? In a word, it comes from our ability to make use of what we've got right now, right away. Here's an example. Do you remember stories, perhaps, of people in the Depression era rewashing their tinfoil because that's all they had? That's a form of resilience. The idea of not worrying about where the next piece of tinfoil is going to come from. It's figuring out how to use what you've got. And so this habit became about washing tinfoil. It's another value or ethic that comes out of the Depression era is making the distinction between wants and needs. And so it was considered really important back then, because you didn't have a lot, to make the distinction between wants and needs. And if you could put into practice what you had right away, then you knew that you needed it. And if it wasn't of any use to you, maybe you wanted it, but you better train yourself not to worry about what you wanted and to get on to getting what you needed and make that distinction. So that's the middle ground where resilience is found. So now that we know what it is, like how do you find it? Well, there's two steps to that. There's our personal work and then there's our relationship. So let's start with the personal work first. The personal work is to be able to get to a place where I can face myself and the negative self-talk that I have. Because if I'm the type of person that doesn't think I'm good at anything, like I'm a good for nothing, if I feel that, then I'm not ever going to be able to get to the place where I can recognize that I actually do have things that I can do, much in the same way. If I can't go outside, well, then at least I have a dining room table to sit down. And you know what? If I didn't have a dining room table, I could still sit down on the floor and record it there. Are you following me? Perfect. Now that takes courage, right? And that's a profoundly spiritual act. And, we can make a different video about, summoning the compassion and the, positive talk that it takes to be able to face yourself in a different video. But I think you catch my drift. And if you want to know more about that kind of stuff from a spiritual level, I highly suggest you go and watch the Sunday service of my collective that I'm part of that's in the comments, particularly Molly Bell and her children's story has some great things to offer. And so does Pete Woods with his music. The whole crew. Okay. I'm starting to name names. Just watch the service. There's lots of great stuff in it. Now, in terms of our relationships, I think that one of the problems that we get into when we're looking at resilience is when we look at resilience as something that needs to be conquered on the outside, like I will find my resilience because I conquer something. It's easy for us to get in help mode really fast. But the irony of that is that in our relationships, if we try and conquer something out there that is almost inconquerable, right? Nobody's going to conquer COVID tomorrow. This is a longer term project. we actually lose our sense of resilience and our tank begins to empty really fast. In our relationships, if I'm feeling fear in facing myself and identifying my strengths, our relationships, our friendships can help us make the distinction between what I'm good at, maybe what I need help with, and maybe what I shouldn't even touch to get from A to B. And when our friendships help us in a positive fashion, that's where we find resilience. In the end, then, resilience is not, I guess, shown by how well it's going out there. It's shown by how well I respond rather than react to what is going on out there. So, my friends, continue to reach out to each other, continue to support and love each other, continue to listen to each other, continue to believe in each other. Be blessed and be a blessing. Have a great week. Amen.